Well, Reece McNally, you love these street circuits. You've put on another flyer in that qualifying session. Can you get through these concrete walls, though, in this ute category?
Yeah, you know, I love street circuits. I love the, you know, the proximity to the walls and I guess the risk for reward factor. So absolutely love being up here. Townsville's a great track. So hopefully we can repeat our qualifying performance and bring it home on top. Now, from memory, you did okay here last year too. Yeah, we finished second for the round here, so so far we're doing everything to try and make that one better, but as we know in utes, anything can happen.
I'll leave you with that thought. Yes, you're right.
I'm not quite sure how he manages to see out of that helmet. It's an interesting one. There's the points as I welcome Paul Morris in to commentary. And he's managed to hold on to that extended lead in the points after getting off a judicials hearing on Thursday, Roll Harris.
He has, and just backing her up a bit before the line. He must have been a bit close to the line, so spoke to Ryle after qualifying. Reckons he's just points racing this weekend. Just got to get through it. Just got to survive it, he says. Look after that championship lead.
I've heard that all before. Let's just see how he goes when the green flag drops.
When the flag drops, he might have a different plan, but
we're looking to see how many we end up with this reverse grid race for later on. We never know. There is the man who won the first ever race on the streets of Townsville. The Utes were first on the schedule back in 2009, and it was George Miedeke who took out that win and is looking forward to a good result after qualifying outside of the top 10. So we're nearly set as we are about to go off on the warm-up lap. This will be the first of 3 races this weekend, round 4 of the V8 Utes. It's a good sight as the East Coast Bull Bars V8 Ute Racing Series rolls off on the formation lap. You never know what to expect when these guys take to the track. I can tell you this much, we're scheduled for 11 laps and we've got an all-star cast on that front row, considering it's one man who's had a pole and a race win so far this year in the Stratco Ute, and the re-energised and reinvigorated Jared McLeod. This is how they line up. McLeod off that front row alongside McNally. Cedars and Marjoram doing a good job in what's been a bit of a Holden love-in at the moment at the front there.
So Holden lockout, front row, second row.
Walton, who won last year here, is out of the middle of that page. Ryan Hansford outside the top 10. Look at the big names back here. George Miedeke missed out on making it through to the top 10. Marcus Marshall, former champ car racer, in there as well, Paul. Yeah,
not a lot of practice for Marcus. Ute troubles in both practice sessions, so limited laps.
Going to see some double duties this weekend for Michael Arman. And he's racing in the Porsches as well as doing the Utes, so completely different driving.
Mate, that is a hard task to swap your driving between something with the grip of a Porsche and back to the V8 Ute.
Can Reece McNally convert from pole position, which he couldn't do in Adelaide? So much to talk about as the red light comes on.
McNally's got the jump, McLeod coming across and he's going with him.
It's going to be pretty even Stevens here.
I'd say McLeod will just tuck in there.
McNally, just like he did last year, getting the jump off the front row. Last year it was Chris Walton that he beat. This time it's Jared McLeod. He has the inside sit. Oh, a couple guys getting close to the wall in the background. Marjoram wants to go the long way around.
3 wide's not going to work here. Fisher up the escape road.
I think I saw Danny Bazadzik go into the fence in the background. No, it's not Bazadzik, but someone definitely went into the fence pretty hard back there. Missed out on seeing who it was. Now Hansford up the inside of the points leader. He said he was points racing. Well, let's see how aggressive he's going to be on this first lap.
In all kinds of ways there on the way back.
Through the left-rights we go, and it is the Stratco runner himself, the birthday boy, Reece McNally, at a Wembley in Perth, who's leading the way, and still Hansford and Harris battle.
They're side by side. Ryle's got the line here for this corner. Hansford's going to have to duck out of it. Pull him behind him. He's just nowhere to go.
A pair of Matt Stone racing teammates squaring off against a pair of Peters Motorsports teammates.
Get a run on him here.
Can he get up the inside through this bumpy part of the racetrack? He can't. Man, some work to do for Ryle Harris. He's fighting.
He's got to have a look here under brakes. Ryle comes across,
10.
Just covers him off.
Clever. And hard racing back there as well as Adam Beachy is going toe-to-toe.
Wilson.
Miedeke.
Using someone there as a berm.
Get it done any way you can. Tell you what, Miedeke not jumping forward like we expected he would in this first lap.
Oh, he returns serve on him straight away and says, none of that, mate, and have another one.
Well, he was quite courteous.
And this is going to go on all the way to the kink.
That was Michael Arman facing the wrong way. And the Peter Ward demolition ute, there he is.
There he is.
Fuel flap open, he lights up the Yokohamas to try and chase the pack back down. Under brakes, Chris Walton.
Locks it up and just forces Dontas wide. He couldn't turn in, he loses 2 spots.
Dontas shaking his head, furious.
And he's got a run on him now. That'll be Nathan Pretty up the inside. gets 2. Capitalises on that manoeuvre from Walton. This was a bit unfair.
It was a nice jump, that one, wasn't it, from Nathan Pretty, gets to 6th.
And Nathan just would have seen that coming with all his experience.
That is a great little battle pack, including some extremely experienced hands, and Kim Jane. And also
Grant Johnson in there.
So some real famous ute, if there is such a thing, drivers.
There is.
Absolutely, there is now. And the fact that this series has such a following. In terms of that championship battle, this is looking very good for Adam Markram, as this is a full points paying race. Oh, Dontas, furious at the treatment earlier in the lap, is going to get it stopped back.
Yeah, props it in there nicely.
Good job. He was almost on for pole position nearly today. I mean, he was quickest in the first session, set the fastest lap in qualifying, but couldn't go on with it in the last 5 minutes, suffering with that missed gear problem that he also had in the first session. George Miedeke also missed a bunch of gears on his hot lap.
Ruined his hot lap. He's buried in the pack there now. Miedeke back in 17th.
McNally just getting on with the job here. Holding that lead of 1 second over Jared McLeod, who had a first and a second race result to look back on after Darwin. This is the race start.
Yeah, pretty even launch. McNally just gets the better of it.
Now, I've never got to the bottom of who it was who got turned around on the run up to...
3 and 4 wide here, and this is where it's all going to get ugly in the middle of the pack here. It just takes someone to have a dip down the inside.
Someone hit the wall in turn 1, backwards.
Yeah. We know Fisher, who now went up the escape road, so he's obviously trying to avoid something. Beachy there on his right.
Oh, hit the rev limiter there for a second. The Jesus Racing Ute has been suffering from a bit of a long brake pedal.
Oh, it's long, and he's never going to stop.
Look at that.
So he has to press the brake pedal harder and avoid hitting Grant Johnson, and then just locks the tyre.
Yeah, he's been saying that in qualifying he was having to hit the brake pedal 4 or 5 times. Now watch the top of the screen here. Wait for it, wait for it. There, Oakland's and Edge getting together.
Got a bit of an overlap, hooked up on his rear of the car here and just hooked him into the wall, I'd say.
On board with Chris Walton. He's got Gray ahead of him. Being pretty courteous.
3 wide hanging out to dry there. He's fought back well.
Couple of straights. Fair bump. And still Fisher struggling with these brakes here. That was the... OK, so Peter Burnett looks to be the one who may have got together with Michael Arman there in the Ward demolition car. And at the front, it's still this man, though, the Stratco Ute, holding that lead now of 1.3 seconds, so he's extended it. He's also set the fastest lap of the race on that last lap, so this is all great news for the birthday boy.
It's a big margin in V8 Ute racing, 1.3 seconds. McLeod's trying to go with him and just sneaking away from Cedars at the moment.
This is great news for the Auto 1 Ute of Adam Marjoram with the points leader back in 11th. He is going to take some points back on that championship charge. He'll probably move back to 2nd as well.
Yeah, I think he's going to do it all weekend too. Ryle's just got no speed.
You watch Ryle's in 11th, and you just watch. He'll get 11th in the draw, and he'll be off the front row tomorrow.
He's going to need it because he's got lead in the saddlebags. He's weighed down. He's carrying that extra weight, and there's nothing he can do.
We saw him hamstrung last year at this event, but he was actually in that Ute. Yep. Actually, it was sponsored by All Purpose. It wasn't that particular Ute, but he had a bit of a rough round here last year, and then really picked his socks up from Sandown onwards, and has been the #1 man in the competition in the last 12 months. This was the last time we really saw him have a bad run. So it's still tight towards the front there. McNally on top at the moment, but there's still a long way to go. It's McNally, McLeod, Cedars, Marjoram, Gray wrapping up the top 5, but we're not even at the halfway yet in this first race of the weekend. Now Miedeke over to the left-hand side.
He's backing up big
slowing.
time.
2nd in the championship and with a problem. George Miedeke crawling down the front straight, dropping down the timesheets. And what an awkward time to have that problem start just after missing the pit entry. To notice then that you've got an issue is too late by about 5 seconds.
It's too late anyway in this sort of racing. You can't afford to have a pit stop. And as you see, Cedars now looking lively. Eating away at the back of McLeod. Marjoram coming with him. This is where we're going to see some action.
This is good. It's a strong battle pack, that one, fighting for 2nd.
It's crabbing down the road.
So
he's buried already in the pack there. Obviously picked up a few war wounds.
Maybe something happened at turn 13.
Yeah. Him and Wilson were getting at it. Looked like Wilson, we didn't see what happened on TV, but...
Oh, there's something that's been sucked into the front of the Ryco entry there. Just went underneath the mainline dyno signage, which is on the front bar of these cars. And he's hanging on at the moment to second position. Still 5 laps to go here.